Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to something mildly different. Today we're going to be looking into the history of Lego. It's a little show I like to call the Imagination Chronicles. You can thank my great aunt for that name. And we're going to take a deep dive into the bowels of Lego's history. So I hope you enjoy the first episode. In the beginning, there was nothing. I'm just kidding. There's a little Danish boy born in 1891. He was christened Ole Kirk Christensen, and he was born into a moderately middle class family of 12. Yes, he had 9 siblings, so he really had to learn how to share. And fortunately, he had a lot of older brothers, and they taught him a thing or two about carpentry. At the time, carving wood was nothing rebellious for Danish people, so this guy was not reinventing the wheel, but he eventually developed the catchphrase, which is only the best is good enough. And he really took this to heart, because he put in more effort and detail into his art than any Lego molding machine ever could. He was like 100,000 times slower than one of those machines, but then again, he didn't have to make as many sloppy Hulkbusters, so it's okay. Anyway, back to the history lesson. Eventually, he decided he wanted to open up his own shop, so in 1916, wow, that's a long time ago, he purchased the Bill and Marskif. I'm not even going to try and say it. Pronouncing this name should be for ages 18 up. Anyway, this was a building meant for conducting carpentry. And that's just what he used it for. He made things like chairs and tables, just like modern day Lego. Alright, I'm sure you're wondering, Ian Kuhn, where are the actual Lego bricks? Well, we're getting there. As a North Carolinian, I find it very important to talk about wood. So for the next couple of years, Ole was just chilling, making boring wood stuff. And his business was doing okay until his shop caught on fire. And this is going to be a reoccurring thing. But most of the time, it's always a good thing. Yeah, his house and shop caught on fire in 1924. But this man of culture was not the type of dude to give up. So he got right back on that wooden horse and rebuilt his shop slash home, which is pretty badass. And after a couple years of just boring old table and chair making, he wanted to branch out a little. Joke intended. And he wanted to make something for his children. Yes, he had children, and they're not important to the story at all. Cough, cough, we're going to talk about them in like 2 minutes. So he went home, and the first Spinjitzu master crafted the Ninjago dragon of wood. No, I'm joking. He crafted a yo-yo. Yes, the first Lego toy was a simple yo-yo. And there wasn't anything too special about these yo-yos. They were high quality, but they didn't really stick out from other yo-yos. So he thought he would spice it up a little bit with a clever name. And I'm sure you all know he came up with the name Doffenspurger. No, it was Lego. Which, as we all know, is an abbreviated version of a Danish word that means to play well. And funnily enough, in Latin, Lego means to put together, as in gathering multiple things, which is kind of a foreshadowing of things to come. And 1 year after that, in 1935, he finally produced the highly sought after, highly coveted Lego duck. Yes, this is the big Lego thing. It wasn't Bionicle, it wasn't Lego Star Wars, it was a duck with wheels. This duck really looks like something you would find out of like Nightmare Before Christmas, but hey, Danish kids really went crazy for it back in the day. He also made a slightly less popular wooden train, but no one seemed to care about that for some reason. I guess ducks were all the rage. And it was also around this point that he actually coined the term only the best is good enough. He mostly stuck to ducks and trains for a while,
but eventually decided to do something more interesting like horses and carriages.
which I think are okay. The horse kind of captures the style of the early Lego horses, which I like. And for a time, things were actually going pretty well until 1940. And surprisingly enough, his shop did not catch on fire. Instead, Denmark was occupied by the Nazis. But at the time, Denmark did not publicly affiliate themselves with the crazy Jewish people, so the Nazis didn't pay too much attention. And at this time, surprisingly, business was booming, just like the bombs America dropped on everyone. Alright, maybe that was a little too dark. Anyway, in the early 40s, Ole really went through a truck phase and made such beauties as the plank side truck, which really reminds me of some of the American toys that were being made. This one's just made out of wood instead of metal. Ole was actually doing really well financially. It was kind of refreshing, seeing as he was kind of in not the best situation for most of the company's existence. Unfortunately, he started buying a lot of things that required electricity, so he had tons of power lines around his house, which just left a lot of room for error, especially because this guy has bad luck with fires. And you guessed it, in 1942 there was another fire. This time it was an electric fire, but he really found success in this wooden toy market, so he kept on producing toys and rebuilt his factory again, and didn't really innovate on his craft that much. He just made some things like the Lego monkey. Reject Lego brick, embrace wooden monkey. Oh yeah, and not to brag or anything, but I have seen the Lego wooden monkey in person. Anyway, this is the part where bricks are actually introduced. Yes, we're finally there. So, Ole went to a toy convention of sorts. I don't know. It was a thing that was showing off cool inventions. And he met a man that had a weird machine. And in this weird machine, there was a strange press. And on the strange press, there was a strange mold of a weird little rectangle with weird little squares on top of it. And it was a hollow rectangle, which was even stranger. Ole was super interested in this, and the crazy scientist who came up with this told him all about it. And this was the first Lego brick. And Ole saw a lot of potential in these weird rectangles and this machine in general, so he bought it off this guy and started producing weird stuff again. Yes, blah blah blah. He produced a bunch of teddy bears. He did this weird thing where he produced a bunch of little plastic teddy bears. Anyway, he decided to eventually use the bricks again. But you're going to have to watch episode 2 to learn more about that. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of the Imagination Chronicles. Honestly, it was pretty fun to make. I have a lot of plans for this series, and it's going to go on for quite a long time if it's popular. If it's incredibly unpopular and I'm getting like 3 views per video, then I might cancel it. But I would love to look through every Lego series with you guys. This one was a little bit more stock imagey and explain-y than all the other ones will be. The other ones will be more about discussing themes and my opinions on them. But I just want to lay down the groundwork of what Lego was and talk about the heritage and the wooden duck. Make sure to like and subscribe for the next one. Ooh, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. All that, crap. I'm just saying that to be silly. Love y'all. Do whatever you want. Peace out. See you next time.